What's going on, guys? This is Vaughn Belto here with the now called High Performance Livecast, and this is episode number 4. So we actually got a name for this thing, Ryan. I know the last couple, the first 3 episodes, we were just, we're on Facebook Live, and we didn't really know what to call this. So you actually kind of finalized the name, and yeah, I was kind of thinking the same thing. So tell me a little bit about how you came up with that.
Well, everything that we do is about high performance, right? So it's high performance business coaching. We've kind of set the model for, I guess, defined what high performing fitness businesses are. There's a few definitions, like we go through, or a few characteristics. God can tell it's Friday afternoon. Characteristics of a high performing business. They're scalable, various things that they have to be able to provide the owner, right? So everything that we do is all about high performance. So in our coaching programs, we're teaching people how to be a high performing business owner. We're trying to teach them how to build a high performing business. And that doesn't necessarily mean the biggest, generating the most revenue, largest facility. It means different things for different people where they're at. Basically needs to provide them what they need to have the freedom, the flexibility, scalability, provide the income, those types of things, right, that they need, that we think of with success as a business owner. So we use high performance in everything else. We're going to talk about everything from marketing and sales to systems and structure to personal stuff, like how to be a high performance person on here. So high performance livecast, and we're live. So it seems like the thing to call it. It's, maybe it'll turn into a podcast or something like that at some time, but that's how I came to the conclusion. I figured, man, this is our episode 4. And so we've hit a streak now. We need to name this thing. It kind of be like, I did this with my son. He was born for like 3 days, didn't have a name. So they just had like baby boy Ketchum on his little crib that he had him, where they kept track of him. Make like no baby snatchers came and got it. And I always felt really bad about that. It's like, well, we can't have this sitting around for very long without us having a name for it.
Awesome, man. Man, I love the name, dude. And I like the fact that, I think we talked about this, the fact that it's not just limited to business, right? It's personal. So, man, you want to be a high performer in everything that you do, business or personal, whether that's, relationships, whether that's fitness, whether that's business. So I love it, man. So you didn't have to sell me much on it at all.
No, I think it works. It's a working name, and like everything else, if we figure out something will work, we'll change it, and we'll figure out what the audience wants us to talk about, right? Like that's what we want people watching, the viewers. Like, tell us how the content's working for you. Tell us what you think of it. Interact with us and let us know so that we know what to do, what to talk about when we're on here. It's all about adding value for them. So if we're going to add value for them, like, tell us what's valuable to you. Tell us what troubles you're having. What can we talk about to help you become a high performer? And that's kind of, I think, what we're all after, right? The people that naturally gravitate towards us are those aspiring high performers. They know that there's a little bit more out there for them. They want to hit their untapped potential. So tell us what we can do to help you find that.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, for people that are just joining us, maybe this is the first time seeing our High Performance Livecast. I'm Vaughn Belto. I'm the High Performance Mastermind Chairman here at Fitness Revolution. This is Ryan Ketchum. He's the Executive Director here at Fitness Revolution. And we're here today to talk about why you need a marketing calendar. So I think this is an extremely important subject to talk about, because there's a lot of trainers or coaches out there that, they are really good at what they do. And what they were taught from an educational standpoint. And what I mean that is the actual practice of coaching or practice of training people. But from my standpoint, and I've always told my employees this and my coaches this, you could be the best trainer in the world, but if nobody knows about you, you're a broke trainer, right? You're not going to make any money. So I think marketing, you have to be just as good as marketing as you are a coach if you want to be successful in this industry.
You absolutely do. It's funny. I commented on a post about, it's been a while ago. I don't even remember whose post it was. A very well respected subject matter expert in our area. They're well known, and I do remember who it was. Now we won't name any names. That way people can go dig this up. So not saying this to bring down anyone, but they were talking about marketability or using some marketing or sales type of tactics to get things done, right? And I commented on there and said, there's nothing wrong with a little marketing sizzle to bring some attention to what you're doing. And another old school, very well respected, very well known coach in the industry kind of debated me on it and countered it with that's the problem with our industry. And somewhat, the problem actually is the great trainers are so afraid to market themselves because they think they won't be taken seriously that all the crappy people get the marketing, right? They figured out how to get eyes on stuff, how to get the attention. And so all of the population goes to that. Like everybody's attention is on that. So then it brings down the industry. So we have to teach the really good trainers how to market themselves so they stand up to that. And when you market really well, then it's easy. Like marketing isn't pulling the wool over anybody's eyes. It's not tricking anybody. It's educating them. It's adding value. So when you do that, you elevate yourself to the same level as that person. You get the attention as well. Now let the public determine, like let your audience determine what's good, what's not. You just have to have a good enough marketing message. And you're exactly right. Like if you've been the best trainer in the world, if nobody's training with you, you're broke and you won't be trained. You can't continue to do that unless you've got funds where like unlimited trust fund or something that like are hidden money like Scrooge McDuck and you're like, your vault back there that you can just live off of. You've got to make money doing this. It's a job. It's a career. And people want to be taken seriously. They want our industry to be taken seriously. Well, every other industry that I know markets gets taken seriously. Lawyers market themselves. Doctors market themselves. The best ones, like why does Dr. Oz get all the attention, but a lot of people bash some of his methods? Well, it's because he's marketable, right? So if you're going to market yourself, get yourself out there and you can combat that. You don't have to do it with like sleazy, unethical tactics. You can do it with very straightforward, honest, education-based marketing, but you've got to talk to your audience. You've got to tell your audience the things that they want to hear. You've got to bring up their pain points so that they pay attention to what you have to say. So you can't take this altruistic attitude of like marketing's bad, right? I'm just going to do good and my skills are going to market themselves. Like a lucky few do that. But very, very few, like there's a better way to do it. So why not use marketing if you can use it?
Definitely, man. And while you were talking, actually something just popped in my head. And I'm thinking back to our high performance business summit that we had in Phoenix earlier this year. And you did a presentation on selling, right? You can't be afraid to sell. And I think a lot of people out there are afraid to sell, right? They think selling is some derogatory term. But the same thing was with marketing. If you're not selling to somebody, if you're not selling your services, if you're not marketing your services, you're not helping anybody. And if you're good at what you do, you should be in the industry of helping people, right? So if you look at it that way, I mean, there's nothing wrong with marketing. There's nothing wrong with selling.
Yeah, the only time marketing and selling is bad is when you do it for bad reasons. Right? It's not great if you don't deliver on your services. It's not great if you can't deliver what you're promising. But when you deliver it, it's an exchange of value. All right? And so you sell all day long. Like you sell to your kids, you sell to your spouse, you sell to your friends, you sell to your coworkers. Like everything that you're doing, you're marketing and selling. And back in one of our first episodes, we said this, and it was, marketing's not everything, but marketing has a place in everything, right? You'll see it everywhere. Same thing with sales, marketing, however we want to talk about it. Like you're constantly selling your ideas. You're trying to get your clients to follow practice, right? Follow a certain structure, implement something. You have to sell that to them. So you have to be okay to influence people to do the things that are better for them, that are good for them. If you don't, they probably will never change. And so, yeah, you can't have the impact that you want to have. Great examples of marketability in our industry. Let's look at great coaches who do good stuff like Todd Durkin, Martin Rooney, John Berardi. Like, don't give me that they don't market. They market the heck out of themselves, yet they still deliver an awesome service. Like, they still do really great stuff. I mean, those are just a few. But so it doesn't have to be one or the other, right? Like, you can find your own path to get there.
Awesome, man. Yeah, man. I think we can sit here and talk about marketing and sales all day long, man. I think that's something that both of us are good at. But before we get going off in that direction, let's bring it back around as far as, really structuring your marketing, right? And that's what we're here today to talk about is, the importance of having a marketing calendar. So, you wrote a blog post a while back, and it's not coincidental that it was titled the exact same as this High Performance Livecast episode number 4. But let's talk a little bit about, what are the top reasons why people that as they start to get involved in marketing and understand the importance of marketing themselves, why they need a marketing calendar? Why should they be using a marketing calendar?
Well, it's very much like a training program. You don't just show up to the gym with no program or train your clients with random exercises and hope they get the result that they want, right? So you have a structured program. That's what your marketing calendar is. It's broken down into the actions that are going to deliver the result, which is I'm going to get leads, which turn into clients. And so you create a marketing calendar. I mean, the first thing is it's accountability, and the last thing is it gets results, right?
Yeah.
And those are kind of the two things we need to really have. And then we've got some other stuff, better time management, and it helps you figure out your strategy. But the biggest reason that people need a marketing calendar is, especially for trainers, marketing's kind of a broad term. All right, so marketing is a lot of like storytelling. It's getting your message out there. So it's all the things that get your message out there. So I mean, that's your website, that's the copy that you use on your site, it's the videos that you do, it's your branding, it's your logo, it's your colors, it's like talking to people, network, it's all of that stuff. The problem is in fitness business, trainers have only been taught to just like do a random barrage of marketing things, right? So it's run Facebook ads and then network and then go get referrals and then do joint ventures and do public speaking. And there's no system method. There's nothing behind it, right? And a few people get it right. A few people kind of naturally fall into the things that they're good at. Well, when you create a marketing calendar, it essentially breaks it down into a training program for you that says, all right, on every day, do these things, every week, do these things, every month, do these things. And the purpose of all of those things is to get somebody, set up an opportunity to deploy a marketing campaign. So, for example, a daily activity might be reach out to joint ventures to set up a joint venture partnership. So I might need to reach out to 3 joint ventures every single day. And the goal of that is to get a partner to say, hey, I want to do this with you. The goal of that is to get leads. So everything has a purpose to get to the end result, which is get leads. And you break that down. Not everything needs to be done every day. Sometimes it's every week. So all I have to do when I figure out my marketing plan, I create my marketing calendar, and it holds me accountable. When I don't know what to do to get more leads for my business, I go to my calendar and, I need to do these 3 things every day. I need to make sure I do these 3 things every week. Now I know by doing those actions, right? It breaks it down to a process goal. I do those actions, I follow this process, now I should get the results. I'm not hoping that I'm going to get 30 leads at the end of the month. I know if I do all these things, there's a really good chance I'm going to get 30 leads a month. So it puts the control back on you as the business owner.
Well, I love what you just said there, man, because when I was reading this post and I was preparing for this call, I kind of broke down the whole topic into the top 4 things that you kind of mentioned. And those top 4 things were, keeping you consistent, better time management, better strategy, better results. So let's, you kind of led into the consistency topic. So let's kind of dive into that a little bit. How does it keep you consistent by having a marketing calendar?
So if you're following these actions, like marketing has to be done consistently, right? So in a normal marketing cycle, and trainers naturally know this, but for some reason it never sinks in. And it's because you're busy, right? So you have a ton of things going on and you're trying to run your business, train your clients, manage your team if you have it, take care of clients and do the customer service stuff. And then like you've got to have a life as well. Plus now I've got a marketing, finance, you're doing it all. So if you don't have some sort of framework to give you some basically give you rails to follow. I think last time we talked about the gutter ball, right? Like the bowling, you put the bumpers down to avoid gutter balls. Well, this gives you those bumpers and tells you exactly what to do. It puts you in your lane. So when you do that, Now I know that I can consistently deploy my marketing. Consistency is key. Consistency is going to win out over time, even like rather than trying to chase the one big idea. So it's equivalent in baseball, right? We use another analogy, sports analogy. I'm just going to hit singles. I'm going to move the runners around the bases. And eventually one of those is going to end up, I'm going to hit a home run. Well, instead of trying to swing for the fences all the time, just hit your singles. Do the basic stuff that you know is going to result in the leads. And every once in a while, you're going to get lucky and you're going to hit a home run. The problem is most fitness professionals, they're out there, they're swinging for the fences on every one. But they're not putting their home run hitter up to bat consistently. You know, it's like every ninth hitter is your home run hitter. Well, that's a problem because you're only marketing when you need clients. Like if you need clients, it's too late. You should have been marketing 6 weeks ago. Normal marketing cycle could take 60 to 90 days. So you want to be getting leads in all the time and that consistent growth. So just by having a plan and following those action steps, it keeps you accountable.
Awesome, man. Yeah, I love that. And I think the biggest part of consistency too is, when somebody sees your message once, they might be the first time even seeing your message or your brand, right? Mm-hmm. And so I think if you're consistent with your marketing, you're kind of increasing the chances that they're going to see your message more than once.
Absolutely. And if you do it really well and you have narrowed down your ideal client, and so you know where they're at, like where their hobbies, where they're spending their money, all these things, the likelihood of you getting your message out in those channels and those different avenues where they'll see it from different places. That's another thing that's really powerful is imagine if I see your ad on Facebook, but it doesn't really resonate with me there, or I skip over it. But then my friend talks about you and I'm like, oh, I think I saw that ad. And then all of a sudden I see something come through where you're doing a joint venture with the person that cuts my hair. And now all of a sudden it's like, well, that's 3 times I've heard about this business. Next time they see something, it might be that 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th time where they see it in a different place that they finally take action to move to the next step. And then even after that, once they've taken the next step, sometimes you have to continue to market to them to move them along the pipeline, right? It doesn't just automatically lead to client. Sometimes there's a long gap in between there. So you've got to continually market. It's that consistent adding value, spreading your message that really pays off in the long run. And it's about, you're keeping your pipeline full so that, we talk pipeline, there's stages. And so people are at different stages in their relationship with you when you're in your marketing and sales process. And you always want each stage of that pipeline as full as you can get it. That way it doesn't dry up. If there's an area that's not full or not where it needs to be, that's a red flag that, hey, you're going to have a problem in 2 or 3 weeks when you don't have enough of these leads to get to clients. So it kind of leads to all these things come together, but it's all that consistency, and consistency just comes down to I've got to have a plan.
Definitely. So you're essentially nurturing your list. You're essentially building your brand. And we talked about those touches. How many touches does it take, on average for a person before they make a purchase or, take action?
You'll see all sorts of stuff. A lot of times it's like 7 times.
At least, right?
Yeah, at least 7 times that they have to hear the message. I mean, I know for a fact that the research states that it takes 7 times for like an employee to hear something before it makes sense to them. So imagine like it's not even an employee that works for you. This is somebody you're trying to get to follow your business and do business with you. They've got 100 other things going on. You're not their top priority. It's at least 7 times that they're going to have to do something. And, I know people put on there, I get leads and they turn into a client really fast. I would almost guarantee a majority of those leads are either referrals or they're reaching out to the person and they've already done their research. They just don't know it. So they passively marketed to them somehow, some way. And there'll always be those outliers that make the jump right away. But most people, when you want to build a high performing business, you need to have this consistent marketing plan in place.
Definitely. I 100% agree, man. So the next thing we talked about, on top of consistency, being consistent, having a marketing calendar, there's another big benefit of that, and that's better time management, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
How does that help somebody manage their time?
Well, it goes back to the plan, right? If I try to market when I have time, you'll never market because you didn't assign it a priority level in your business. So time management, so much of it is just about prioritization and figuring out where things fit amongst all of the other things that you have going on. And then what do you assign enough importance to and prioritization to put in your calendar? So if I am running my business and I've got 5 sessions today, that's 5 hours, probably a little bit of prep for each of those. I'm going to have probably just some time I've got to do some follow up and take care of other tasks. Well, that might only leave you 2 or 3 other extra hours in the day that you have to work. Well, you have to place and figure out where marketing fits on that. And if you leave it to, I'll do it when I have time, other things, especially if you don't like marketing or you find it challenging, other things will take its place. And then you'll never have time, right? It's the same thing that a trainer would tell their client that says, I don't have time to work out. You have to put it in your schedule. You have to prioritize it, treat it like an appointment, right? So you do the same with your marketing. And then I can know and assign my times and say, well, I have my daily, weekly, monthly lists. Well, I know it's going to take me 30 minutes to reach out to 5 people or, 20 minutes to post on Facebook twice during the day. You build it in and you create that structure around it. And now I can actually manage my time a little bit better. So I'll be able to fit it in.
That's key, man. And having that structure around like the bigger plan in mind, right? So I mean, for anybody, and especially us, we talked about this a lot, but even to our coaching clients, time, you can't make more time in a day, but you can be much more efficient and productive with your time, and having a plan, a strategy in place. That's key. And that kind of carries me into my next topic. You talked about prioritization, you talk about time management, but with all those things in place and having a calendar, you essentially are creating a better strategy, right?
Yeah, there's this gap between like the strategy and the plan, right? That's people use strategy a lot of times and I think they misuse it. So when we're talking about the better strategy here, it's like you've got your strategy and that's like your ideal client, your positioning statement, your core offer. Your marketing strategy is the overall bigger picture. It's the big picture of this is kind of how I move someone from lead. This is how I get leads. And then this is how I move them to a client. The plan is the activities to put the strategy to work, to make it, to test it, right? So you think I've got this strategy. I'll relate it to something that's easy to relate to for trainers. The strategy is the client's overall goal, right? It's their long, big term, like big goal that they want to accomplish. The plan is the phase of the workout that they're doing, like this 4-week workout program that they're going to do. That's the difference. So how do you get the two together? How do you merge them? And so you use the strategy to implement your plan. The strategy guides your plan, and then the plan should feed back into the strategy. So with your strategy, you know your ideal client, and so you know where the good chance of finding them are, what the message is that you need to present to them. So you know their pain points, their frustrations, you know where they spend time, money, hobbies, what their interests are. So that allows you to target your marketing. It allows you to create the messaging for your marketing, which then you take into and say, okay, well, where are the places that I can put my message in front of them? That helps to constitute your plan. So that's how you tie the strategy together from, my positioning, messaging, ideal client to what am I doing in this marketing calendar? What am I putting together? How am I going to get leads? You bridge the gap there, and it makes the strategy. You basically get to see if you have a good strategy.
Yeah, I like what you said there, Ryan, because we talked about this before, and kind of tell me what happens if people are trying to put together a marketing calendar or even a marketing strategy, and they don't know what their ideal client is.
You're basically just shooting arrows in a lot of directions. Like, so say I'm aiming at a target. Like the target is my ideal client. So if I'm an archery and I want to hit that target, I've got to aim at it, right? I've got to know where it is. But if I don't know where my target is, and I just shoot a bunch of arrows in the air and hope it hits, it's probably not going to hit. Right? And that's what a lot of bigger companies do. That's typically what people think of with branding, right? It's I'm going to send this big mass message out and hope to attract as many people as I can. The problem is you're speaking to everybody, which means it resonates with no one because you're not really digging into the pains and frustrations of any one person, one group.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I was about to say that if you don't know what your ideal client is, you don't even have a target.
Yeah, I mean, you're just spinning around hoping that you hit it. I mean, you might as well be playing pin the tail on the donkey. Like,
exactly.
I mean, you're blindfolded. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know how to talk to them. You don't know what's going to resonate. You're guessing. You would never guess with a training program, right? I never guess. You do an assessment. You figure out where they're starting. You've educated yourself so you know what the next steps are. And just like a training program, a marketing plan or a marketing calendar is fluid. It adapts. You listen to what the data is telling you. So in a training program, if the client's plateaued, not getting stronger, not losing weight, whatever their goal is, they're not moving closer, you change the plan, right? You adjust and adapt. Marketing calendar, same thing. If the activities that I'm doing after, and you also, I'm going to stop and go back, you also don't change the training plan like if you don't lose 10 pounds in one day. Yeah. Right? You wait for a month, you wait for 2 months to see if it works. Same thing with marketing plan. Track it, do the work, do the activities, do the things that are going to get you the clients, the process stuff. After a month, after 2 months, if you're not seeing the results you want, maybe it's time to look at a slightly different plan. What you also will be able to know is what's working, what's not working. So I'll be able to differentiate the activities that are bringing me leads, which those aren't. Now I know, when we go back to time management, if I have 1 extra minute or $1 extra to spend on my marketing, where should I spend it to get the highest bang, my most return for my investment, highest bang for my buck? So it allows you to be more efficient. And then that's even a better strategy, right? Now, like when it comes to numbers game with marketing, now it's easy. Now it's fun because you can grow as fast as you want to grow.
Yeah, and I love what you said just a few minutes ago too, is about, comparing that trainer working with their client. If you don't lose 10 pounds in a day or 10 pounds in a week, you don't stop the plan, right?
Yeah.
There's that. I mean, that sounds familiar to me. There's no quick fixes. I used to tell people that all the time. If you're looking, to lose 30 pounds in 1 month, we're probably not the program for you. So I think the same thing applies to the marketing calendar, essentially the strategy, and you should have a strategy that's going to happen over time, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's following those actions. And again, it goes back to the home run. Like, you can run a transformation contest and kind of go all in with the client.
Yeah.
And you can go all in for a period and get some good results. You could run marketing stuff that you get good results with. But you can't rely on like those surges to keep you moving in business. You take advantage of them when they present themselves, but don't only rely on those to come up. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Now, a big part of strategy too is you're strategizing to get you to a certain point, right? Mm-hmm. So when you have a strategy, you kind of use your marketing calendar. You're looking at what's working, what doesn't work, and you're looking at the results that you're getting to see if they're moving you closer to your goals, correct?
Yeah. You've got to use it to get closer to your goals. I mean, your marketing plan basically tells you whether your goals, so your marketing calendar tells you whether your goals are feasible or not. Like, can the plan support the goal? If not, you have to either reset your goals or figure out a better plan. Like, there's only 2 options. There's nothing in between.
Awesome, man. Well, that leads me to my 4th point, and that I kind of pulled out from that post, and that's better results, right? So we're all looking for one thing, whether it's a client come to us as a trainer or a coach, or it's starting a marketing program or a marketing plan or strategy. We're looking for results. So that kind of leads me to I think a lot of people market and they don't know the purpose of their marketing. So what's the purpose of marketing and having a marketing calendar?
So the purpose of marketing is to get leads. I mean, that's the purpose. Somebody to take action so that you can acquire leads. So you're spreading your message, right? You're attracting people. It goes both ways. Like, you have to attract the right type of person, the right message, the right place will attract people. You've also got to go out and get them. I like attractive, like magnetic marketing because it should draw basically like a magnet, right? Your marketing should draw the people that are a good fit for you in and the people that aren't away. But it's a little deceiving because people think like, oh, well, like I'm doing marketing. People just flock to me. That's not the case. Like you still have to go put the magnets in the right spot to get them close enough to the people. So you got to draw people in with that. And that's really what your marketing is trying to do is you're spreading your message.
Yeah, well, one thing I see all the time, man, I see this time and time again. You said that the purpose of marketing is to get leads, to pull people into that pipeline, to pull people into that funnel, right?
Yeah.
I see so many coaches and so many trainers out there put information what they consider marketing, but there's no call to action. There's no offer. There's no lead magnet or anything. I mean, there's a place for that, but for 90% of fitness professionals out there, I mean, that's 90% of what they do.
They're scared to ask people to take the next step, or they don't know to take the next step. So you have to take the position, you're an expert in what you do. Like whoever you help, whatever you do. And I saw Danny put, yeah, marketing calendar has been a lifesaver. Danny, aren't you on vacation? Like, isn't Danny on vacation right now in Florida? Danny's a coaching client, so I think he's there. The follow-up funnel is huge. Well, I'm glad the marketing calendar has been a lifesaver. Danny has had awesome success opening. He moved out on his own, opened up his own facility, and he's done amazing things since he's joined the coaching program.
Yes, yeah.
But overall, he said, yes, I am.
Awesome. Danny is on vacation, man. You just get off Facebook while you're on vacation.
Get on Facebook Live. Enjoy the beach, man. So I totally lost my train of thought, but call to action. Call to action, yeah. You have to tell people what to do, right? So you don't go to the doctor and they just like hand you a pamphlet of a bunch of medicines if you're sick. They prescribe you something. So prescribe somebody, like if they're reading your materials, tell them what the next action step is. That does not necessarily mean that you go all the way for the kill at that point in time and like the sale, right? It doesn't mean like, hey, here's a Facebook post, buy. It could mean, click here to join my newsletter list and get tips like this 3 times a week, or here, opt in here to download your free guide here, whatever it is. So you have to tell people what the next step is to take with you. It can be click here. It could be go to this, download this, opt in here. Maybe it is buy. It's different for people at different stages of the marketing relationship. But I think that it's pretty silly to put out information and not tell people how to take the next step with you. You're doing them a disservice by not doing that. You're hoping that they figure it out on their own. That's not a way to coach someone. That's not being an expert. So you have to be able to be comfortable telling them what to do to take the next step. Whether that's join your newsletter list or follow you on Facebook or join your front end offer or email you or call you or whatever it is. You have to put a call to action out there. I mean, William Savoy does this better than anyone I think that I've seen. Is he kind of shamelessly promotes himself, but he does an amazing job of it. He puts out videos, content, always has like great stuff out there with great branding. But he always tells people what to do next. There's always a link somewhere in that content, whether it's his video or an Instagram post or whatnot, to go, download this or sign up for this. And he gets a ton of clients from organic social media posts, not ads, organic social media posts.
And I think, being able to offer them something that they want, or maybe they didn't even know they wanted it, but it's something that targets your ideal client. So we do lead magnets. I got one right here on this Facebook Live post, free marketing calendar, right? Somebody might have jumped on this call and didn't really even know that they needed a marketing calendar. Well, now they know they need a marketing calendar and we're offering them something so we can get that lead. I mean, that's just being transparent. So the same thing goes for trainers and coaches out there. Being able to offer somebody a free report, top 10 tips to lose 20 pounds in the next 40 days or something like that is catered towards their ideal client. is really what you should be doing, and it should be, doing it on everything that you put out there. And it might not be a call to action to a free report, but it could be subscribe to my newsletter. It could be, hey, if you're interested in learning how to get in the best shape of your life, personal message me. I mean, there's a lot of different ways, but you got to offer something in most everything that you do. I think.
I think if it's not weighted 80 to 20, like 80% of the stuff you do has to have that, and then like 20 you can just do up like kind of. And that doesn't mean, every one of your personal social media posts, like that's not the purpose of social media, but like when you're doing it for marketing purposes, absolutely, definitely do that. Gosh darn, I had one other thing I was going to say there and I forgot what it was. You made an awesome point about, like a lead magnet, right? Everybody gets caught up in that, like, details of how do I get this set up? I got to do all they want to build out this elaborate funnel and build out this amazing, beautiful ebook. If you're struggling, you can get, there's any number of softwares where it'll put together a free landing page for you. Like, doesn't have to be amazing. Just make it simple and do a video yourself, do a 5-minute video. You can do it while you're save time, have one of your trainers or have a friend or have a client video you while you're helping the client or another client. Do it on a tips and have people download the video. And that's good enough lead magnet to get started. People always think they have to have this 100-page ebook or some fancy schmancy thing. The marketing calendar that we have, we use that with our coaching clients and we put that in the academy, and we've already used that material and we know it's super valuable. So we just pulled it out and said, hey, here's this free resource if you want it. And we hope that somebody finds enough value in that to just continue to follow us and read our emails and read the blog posts, and then hopefully one day they'll become a customer of ours and we'll get to interact, and we just keep adding more value to what they're doing. Yep. But we didn't spend billions of hours trying to create this marketing calendar or create it just for this. We leveraged resources that we knew were valuable, and it's super simple.
Yeah, talk about lead magnets. Most coaches or trainers I know out there, they got lead magnets already in them. It's just how you package them. So I can easily take 3 of my workouts and package it as 3 bodyweight workouts that burn 500 calories or more each, and then put it out there, right? So the general consumer, we're the experts. We're the ones that are putting the information out there. So they're like, oh, okay, I need 3 workouts that I can do at home. They're bodyweight. Boom. You can have my email address for that.
Yeah.
Simple.
You're exactly right. They have lead magnets sitting around. Yeah. They run transformation contests. They've got some sort of nutrition plan. They're just sitting around. It doesn't have to be super pretty at first. The more you do it, the better you get at it. You do want to continue to elevate it. But, we had an accelerator coaching session earlier today, and we had, a handful of the coaching program members on a group call, and one of the things we talked about was somebody was kind of hung up on getting it right. And I was like, man, look, action will overtake your paralysis by analysis every day of the week. Just get it out there, then listen to what the data and feedback is telling you, and then make it better, and then make it better. But if you try to sit around and make it perfect or worry about all these little details that don't matter in the grand scheme of things, it's going to be 6 months from now and you're not going to be any better off than you were before. So take a little bit of action every day. And that kind of goes back to the calendar, it's those little daily actions that don't seem like a lot. It's the 3 emails, 5 handwritten cards. It's the posting on social media at similar times with similar content, day in and day out, that eventually add up and snowball and create these opportunities. A great example was, I don't know how much I write or how much content we put out in any given period of time. It's a lot. It could range from 1 to 3 blog posts a week that are pretty elaborate. We do this Facebook Live. I'm sending our emails to our email list. I've had to do that for a long time before I'm just now getting, decent opportunities that that serves as marketing for us internally, but now we're getting other opportunities to do stuff, and getting that stuff published out through other things. So it's that if I wouldn't have consistently done that without, thinking I'm going to get a huge return from any one of those things,
Yep.
We wouldn't have the opportunities we do now where we could get a big return. So it goes back to that consistency. It's just those little actions every day that add up over time. You look back 30 days from now and wow, I grew my client list by like 10 to 12 members. What I do different? Yep. This was it.
Awesome, man. Well, really what it comes down to, whether it's the marketing calendar, it is us, working with coaching clients, is coaches and trainers out there working with their personal trainer clients. Our job and our goal is to provide better results for our clients, our customers, right? And that leads me to, kind of wrap this up, but there's something you said at the end of your blog post that I wrote down that was, brilliant. And you know what I mean? Like I keep telling you, I love the marketing, kind of the business analogy versus the trainer to client relationship. So let me find it here. You said random marketing will produce the same type of result random workouts will for your clients. That's a freaking awesome statement. And for, being that the majority of people watching this are trainers or coaches, if you expect to give your clients random workouts, you expect your clients to be inconsistent and still see results, it's not going to happen. And it's the same thing goes with your marketing calendar.
Yep. And, I take the random workouts done consistently, and random marketing done consistently over time, but you can make it better, right? We all know that there's a better way and a structured way, but I think that's what resonates with people is you have to use an analogy, like you have to use something that they can draw the connection to. There are so many similarities to training and business. The people, our clients that we work with, the fitness business owners, and then their clients that they work, there's so many similarities. It's really scary. And so it's easy for me to draw those connections and kind of think about things in a way like that. And I started as just a trainer. I wasn't a marketer. I don't think that I was born with any like specific marketing or even sales skills. I think I developed skills over time. Like it's not a talent. I might have found the ways, like I've found ways to put myself in that wheelhouse. So if I can do it, like if I can figure out some marketing, or like if you can, and you grow, a really big business at QSA, if we can learn how to do it, anybody can learn how to do it. It's just a matter of putting in the work, right? Like creating a plan and implementing the plan. And I didn't even do this stuff this well when I was running my fitness business. It took me till now when it's really hard to do it to figure some of this stuff out.
Man, I hear you. And I got the same background, I went to Furman. I'm a soccer player, majored in health and exercise science. I had no business background whatsoever other than the fact that my dad owned a construction business, and the most involvement I had in that was going out and digging trenches when I was little. But yeah, if you take the time to educate yourself and you surround yourself with the right people, or the right systems, the right tools, it makes it easier. And then, get coaching. And, we were offering people a free marketing calendar. That's the starting point. But then, surround yourself with people that have been there, done that, and they're still doing it. And, buy yourself speed. So that's correct. That's the way I look at it. And the same way that clients come to trainers and coaches, they're investing in themselves and they're buying speed because they have a desired result that they want to achieve, and they're going to get there faster with the help of somebody else. So
you said it perfectly.
And I didn't even mean to wrap this up with an offer for a free coaching call, but I did post that at the bottom of this call, and I'm gonna post it up here too as well. But man, marketing calendar it's a no-brainer. Everybody needs one. Every trainer, every coach, unless you're at a point where you're full to capacity with clients. And even at that point, you still need to keep the pipeline full, right? You need to create a waiting list, but you need to be consistent, with your marketing. And it's just like what you teach your coaching or your clients, your fitness clients to do. So, I'm gonna hand it back over to you. I know you got a couple nuggets, just kind of, finish us off and, let us go enjoy our Friday afternoon.
Well, I think if there's an action plan from this, it's download the calendar. If you already have a template, like you don't have to use ours. There's nothing magical about ours. It's built to work around our methodologies that we work with in coaching. So we align it with that. There's nothing magical about it. If you have a formula and a system you already have, like work it, keep doing it. Maybe you can figure something out that we talked about in this call, but it's get a marketing plan in place. Then it's implement it. Like just get started. You could have this ready over the weekend. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to like totally, have it down to a science to get it working. Like just start. And I talk you through how to build it out. There's a module that comes with the calendar that I talk you through how to build out the calendar. So I'll take you through like an exercise in it's about 30 minutes to do this. By the end of the weekend, you could have a marketing calendar built out and starting to implement next week. If you just do that, you'll be good to go. So that's the action steps. And I'm excited to be doing this too at our new headquarters.
Yeah.
People might have noticed this is a change of background. I am in our new lab. I'm actually watching Vaughn on like a 70-inch screen TV with a robotic camera that I can move around with a remote control here.
I'm a little subconscious, man, because I know I got a big head, but it's 70 inches. That's huge.
I know. I've got it blown up all the way across too. We got this big 70-inch monitor. We got a ping pong table out in the main lobby. Nick and Kelly are here. So we're new, like live headquarters in Indy. We're super excited about it. It's where we'll have like our live coaching meetings, and Nick and I spent some time brainstorming some cool stuff today that hopefully we'll be able to announce in terms of bringing some people in to do some workshops and things like that. So I'm stoked to have both Nick and Kelly around doing this in the offices. So,
well, I'm excited
for everybody watching, take action and come see us at Indy.
Yeah, I'm excited about coming there in a few weeks, man. More importantly, to whoop up on you and Nick and some ping pong.
I'm terrible at ping pong.
Well, cool, man. Well, Ryan, man, it's a pleasure again to have you on another call. We'll be back here again next Friday at 3:30. So those of you that are watching this, go ahead and mark your calendars off for next Friday at 3:30, and we'll be back here answering your questions and educating the masses. So
absolutely, and post if you're not watching it live, post your questions. Like if you stuck around this long, let us know if you have questions, comments. Let us know how you like the show. We check the feedback on it, so let us know.
Awesome, man. Well, you guys, thanks for joining us. You guys enjoy your Friday afternoon, enjoy your weekend, and we will see you guys next week.